The following is a world-class Bullshitters exclusive.
So the Mandalorian Season 2 trailer just dropped a few hours ago, and I thought, we should talk about it. We are a Star Wars channel after all, right? Right. So anyway, the first thing I thought to myself was that this trailer looked pretty damn good in terms of the visuals, not in terms of the content just yet. Just keep watching, we'll talk about that. We'll also talk about how I think I spotted Luke Skywalker in this trailer. So the first thing I want to say about this season's trailer, like I said with the first season in general, is that it felt like Star Wars in terms of the feel. You know, I watch it, I'm on Tatooine, I'm on these new foreign alien planets, and it doesn't feel like the sequel trilogy where I'm just, or even Rogue One, admittedly, or even Solo, where I don't feel like I'm on an alien world. I feel like I'm on a location dressed up to be an alien world. I think that's one of the problems that Disney had and Lucasfilm had with the modern Star Wars films, is that in the quest to capture the original tone and feel, they overlooked the original's creativity. But yes, we've seen Tatooine, we're seeing some familiar sights, obviously the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda. Those first couple of seconds look fantastic. Now, one thing a lot of people aren't going to talk about is the music. I know there's a fairly sizable portion of the audience that doesn't like the Mandalorian music. I, for one, am not one of those people. I think the theme song is pretty cool. It feels like a Star Wars Western, which is what Star Wars and the Mandalorian has traditionally been. Now, this trailer has a much more synth-heavy theme, and again, I'm digging it. It reminds me of Tron Legacy and a lot of modern sci-fi stuff. You could go back to Blade Runner and his Vangelis score, or Vangelis, depending on how you pronounce it. But that had a very synthy sci-fi feel that has carried over across the genre for decades and decades, and the Mandalorian having it doesn't feel out of place whatsoever. In terms of more visuals, I definitely dug Tatooine. I was really happy to see the Gamorrean guards wrestling, because, again, that's what the Mandalorian has the ability to do, to expand the Star Wars world without fucking up the original trilogy. So far. Also, while we're on the positives, it's cool to see the continuation of Moff Gideon, and the remnants of the Empire look cool and interesting too, because last season we definitely saw, I guess it was the remnants of the 501st Order, or was it the real 501st were the Stormtroopers? Anyway, we saw Stormtroopers, we saw TIE Fighters, we saw, I think, even like a Sandtrooper Polydron or whatever it's called. So we saw these very classic, iconic Star Wars things, and they fit within the world. And it would make sense that right after a massive battle, that there are remnants of the military. This rebel insurgency force did wipe out the Emperor and Vader and all sorts of stuff, but there's still going to be thousands of people, and the Mandalorian handles that well, and it looks like it's going to continue to handle that, because Mandalorian, realistically, is a couple storylines that converge or diverge. You have the Empire storyline, you have the Siege of Mandalore, well, the history of Mandalore and who the Mandalorian is, and then you have the Baby Yoda story, and that's interesting to me. And finally, we have the return of the female Mandalorian, and "This is the way" quote, which was used twice in this trailer, which I definitely dug, and I think that woman has an incredible voice, and that was a character I loved. I actually enjoyed all of the Mandalorians from the first season. You had Jon Favreau in his jetpack, you had the main Mandalorian, whose name escapes me at the moment, the woman, Mandalorian children. It was just a very neat way to look at the culture of what's left. With that being said, this isn't all positives, this isn't all sunshine and rainbows. First off, the trailer looked very Baby Yoda focused, almost too Baby Yoda focused, if I may say so myself. And I have to wonder how much of that is organic and how much of that is from the merchandise sales. Because as we talked about earlier in the year, actually not even earlier in the year, just a few weeks ago, with Star Wars sales figures coming out, Star Wars toy sales are up, mainly because of the Mandalorian. And if you look at the Funko line of toys, the Mandalorian is separate from the original Star Wars saga, I guess at this point, and the Mandalorian outsells the original Star Wars stuff. So over there, they break it down by specifics, and the Mandalorian reigns supreme. Again, that is why the Mandalorian is the only Star Wars original toy line in a couple of years. And you're thinking, Jeff, all these movies have had toy lines. And Rise of Skywalker didn't have an exclusive toy line. Last Jedi kind of did, The Force Awakens did. So we've seen a declining return on all this stuff, but the Mandalorian has proven so popular that they want to buck the trend, and guess what? That's what's happening. Now, I also have a question when we're talking about the blind commercialism of Star Wars. Is the Baby Yoda stuff any more heinous than the Ewoks in Return of the Jedi? And I'm gonna go with no. I mean, we had a spawn of the Ewok cartoon, there were the 2 Ewoks films, there are all sorts of additions to Star Wars based in the Ewok lore. Now, if they start doing Baby Yoda films, or they start doing Baby Yoda's Day Out or some dumb shit like that, then I'm going to be complaining until the cows come home, or the Banthas, or whatever the Star Wars equivalent would be. But for now, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. Now, here's the question / problem I have. Star Wars has always addressed the Jedi, but they keep going back and changing it. So if you watch the first film, Obi-Wan makes it seem like the Jedi have been extinct for a long time. I mean, hell, even the people on the Empire's Death Star, which I've never referred to it as the Empire's Death Star, it's always just the Death Star, but even there, they talk about the ancient religion, your sad devotion, your sorcerer's ways, your fire has gone out in the universe, you are the last remnants of your ancient religion, or whatever Grand Moff Tarkin says, to paraphrase. So clearly there aren't a lot of Jedi out there. There's Vader, who's a Sith, but he was a former Jedi. There's Obi-Wan, who's still a Jedi, and then there's Luke, who's the up-and-comer. And then Luke's supposed to restore order to the Jedi, and you bring balance to the Force with the redemption of Darth Vader. But now the Mandalorian says there's Jedi out there the whole time. So my big complaint with all this is it takes away the efficacy of Darth Vader in Order 66, plus it makes Luke look less special. I mean, it's great that your destiny was to bring back the Jedi Order, but Luke, they never left, so what did you actually achieve? That's just another way to cut down Luke's journey. They've been doing it for years. And this isn't the last time we're going to talk about Luke Skywalker in just a moment. Now, if you notice, in this review, we're not talking too terribly much about the character of the Mandalorian outside of some of his looks and things, because this trailer seems to give a little bit of credence to the rumors that the Mandalorian, halfway through the show, won't be the main focus. And we've already seen the rumor of Sasha Banks being part of the show come true, and if you don't know who she is, she's a wrestler, a very okay wrestler, who's not a very good actress. Now you're thinking, Jeff, what about The Rock? Yeah, but The Rock, it took him years to get where he is now. When he started out, he was still The Rock. He was more of like a morbid curiosity with, can this wrestler act? Because on the mic, best of all time. In the ring, up there too. But he was an unproven commodity. And I think he really has paved the way for a lot of wrestlers in the modern day to get into acting in bit roles. And you're thinking, Jeff, Hulk Hogan did it. Roddy Piper did it maybe the best with They Live. Yeah, but just because they did it first, well, The Rock did it bigger. And, well, WWE is much different than it used to be, but I digress. But this feels a lot like Finn with The Force Awakens, modern Disney, the old bait and switch, but they call it subverting your expectations. So if I watch this series, this season, if you're British, it's a series, but if I watch this season's episodes, and I feel like the Mandalorian is taking a back seat, well, I'm going to be kind of pissed off, because he is the reason why I watch the show. Not Baby Yoda, not Cara Dune, no matter how cool she is, not Carl Weathers, not even Giancarlo Esposito. Strictly the Mandalorian, because first off, he looks like Boba Fett, so I initially connected that, and secondly, he's a cool, interesting character who is not bogged down by the modern identity politics of Disney Star Wars. He's just a dude in a suit of armor, and he's pretty badass. Now, I will say, if this show does fall into the trap of Ahsoka and all these new Jedi and all these things, if that turns off the fan base, who do they blame? They won't blame themselves, because if they go that route and they turn off a lot of people because they change the format of the show, we, the fans, were very excited for more Mandalorian, even accepting Baby Yoda. But if they're going to make it about other things, this vehicle for this Star Wars world through the guise of this show, then I'm going to have a problem. Because I want the Mandalorian. I don't want the Ahsoka show. If I really want Ahsoka, I'll watch the Clone Wars, I'll watch Rebels, I'll watch him fuck up the timeline. But I don't want the Ahsoka show. I want the Mandalorian, and I want to have a good time. Finally, speculation. I know I don't normally address this kind of stuff here on the channel, but I saw the trailer just like each and every one of you. And I want to know, is this Luke Skywalker flying next to the Mandalorian? I know you're thinking to yourself, all X-Wings look alike, Jeff, but look at the ship. It looks like it has a similar color pattern. I wasn't able to see the red stripes on the wing, so I don't know if it was Red 5, but if you look closely, that looks a lot like R2-D2. Again, R2 units are different colors, but they're all the same make, essentially. But this spoke to me. This kind of popped out at me. I look at other X-Wings, especially the ones from Rogue One. I look at the X-Wings that appeared in last season of The Mandalorian. I never once thought to myself, that looks just like Luke's X-Wing. I mean, it's the colors, the red stripe, everything about it just screams Luke Skywalker. Now, if that's the case, I don't like that idea. I don't want to see Luke. I don't want to see Han, Leia, anybody, Chewbacca. I don't want to see any of the original trilogy characters. Because I don't think Lucasfilm has the ability to not cock it up. I know the phrase is in Favreau we trust, but with Cray KK still in charge, there's time to pull an Amber Heard and you could shit the bed. So Disney, please don't. Don't make that be the way. Let The Mandalorian be the only good thing from Star Wars, and let us hope that this season is as good as the first. So folks, that's my quick assessment of The Mandalorian Season 2 trailer. I enjoyed it, but because Disney Star Wars has burned us all, I can't openly, blindly, willingly just have my arms open and say, guys, it's Star Wars, let's just enjoy it. I can say, at this point, guys, it looks pretty cool, but we've been screwed over before, so let's just wait and see. Now, this one's going to hit October 30th. Conveniently, that's when a lot of people's Disney Plus one-year subscriptions from Verizon will end. There are 1,000,001 ways you can watch this show. You can be on Disney Plus, you can sail the high seas, you can do whatever you want. But all I know is what I'm going to do is be back here in the fall, October 30th, and I'm going to be reviewing The Mandalorian each and every week. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you want that. Each and every week, we also do Discuss the Boys over on Anna, that Star Wars Girl channel. We have a fairly firm 5 p.m. Pacific start time, so that's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard for those over on the East Coast and through part of the Midwest. And we're going to have new videos coming out each and every day for the most part. So come back tomorrow. We're going to be talking about Star Trek. Yeah, Star Trek. There's something so heinous that I almost threw a drink at the wall when I made this video. So come back tomorrow for my outrage. But folks, I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. Do us a favor. Hit that thumbs up. Hit the bell notification. All that fun stuff. Why? Do we like to say it? Hell no. But it directly affects us. All of your favorite YouTube creators, actually. So just go take the extra 5 or 6 seconds to make sure that you can find our content when we put it up, and we'll be able to make more and grow the channel and grow the brand and grow the fandom menace. And that's what we do each and every day, but we couldn't do it alone, so we're going to end it with a thank you because you're the reason why it all happens. So folks, I'll be back next time, aka tomorrow, with more. But until then, be smart, be cool, be safe, be sexy, but always be excellent to each other.